Oh, that's all I got from United States. The white monster, the big one. But he's empty already. He's empty. Hello? Hello? Is there someone? No. No American monsters in Switzerland. Ah.
Americans, I am severely depressed. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I miss America so friggin' much.
Damn you, FIFA. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not going to cry.
Forget all the articles judging America that you've ever read. What happens after the 2026 World Cup is completely beyond the script of both FIFA and Hollywood. A strange psychological illness is spreading across Europe. People land in Munich, London, or Paris, but their minds are completely stuck in Texas and California. What happened when a society labeled as heartless capitalism made European tourists cry out for kindness? Why has American freedom and hospitality become a curse that permanently destroys their old way of life? Not just stopping at complaint videos on TikTok, I will take you through the structural links that decode why Europeans are determined to refuse to go home. I guarantee these perspectives will completely change the way you define the American dream. Let's get started.
I'm a Brit living in America, and the American dream is absolutely real.
Did you hear this guy's affirmation? The American dream is real. He shared that when he moved to America, he had no family, no friends, but he had some wonderful American neighbors who helped him a lot. And do you wonder, like I do? Why would an educated, adult person living in Europe, where the social welfare system is among the best in the world, decide to move to the US just to allow themselves to live up to their potential? Is it possible that the way Americans respond to your dreams carries a hypnotic energy that, if you have never experienced it, you would find it very hard to imagine?
I'm a German living in Colorado, and I have to say, before I moved here, a lot of people said, don't do it, America is bad, so many bad things, they don't have good insurance, they don't have vacation time, they don't have this, they don't have that. And I have to say, it might fit to small-minded people, but for people that come here that are willing to put the work in and don't take excuses for excuses, I guess, this is not true. America is a great country if you want to build something.
Many people before coming to the US are instilled with a fear by the media and the crowd that it is a dangerous, unstable country, that the people there are unfriendly. But then when they arrived in America, millions of Europeans seem to have contracted something called tall poppy syndrome. What does that mean? It means that if you rise higher than those around you, someone will want to bring you down to be equal with your peers. When you walk into a cafe in Europe and boast, "Hey, I'm about to quit my job to start an extremely bold startup project," the natural reaction of the majority will be, "Oh, be careful of going bankrupt. The economy is tough. Be realistic." They don't mean any harm, they just want to keep you safe. But inadvertently, it douses the fire within you with a bucket of cold water. But when you set foot in America, you crash into a wall called American optimism, the American spirit of optimism.
One of the things I really love about Americans is how confident they are. And it seems to be something that's ingrained in Americans from a really young age. So when we moved to America last year, me and my husband and the 3 children were all quite reserved. We're quite quiet people. We're shy. We're introverted, apart from being around each other. But since coming over here and being around people that are just so confident, it's really obvious how different we've been raised to just be quiet, don't show off, don't be too loud. Don't talk about yourself, be wary approaching people.
You see, Americans are not shy about encouraging and pushing you forward. The culture here operates on a very unique emotional support mechanism. No matter how silly or crazy your idea is, the first thing an American will almost always say to you is, "Whoa, that sounds cool. Why not give it a try?" European tourists coming to America initially thought they would be crazy about the giant BBQ ribs or the free refills of soft drinks. But that's not it. What truly captures their hearts, leaving them dazed even after returning home, is the feeling that their ideas are respected rather than judged.
Why not? Why not try? Why not build something? Why not start over? Why not you? These questions can change your life. Because in Europe, people ask, who gave you permission? In America, the question is, why haven't you started yet? That is a completely different culture. Europeans think America is loud because Americans are stupid. No, America is loud because America is still alive.
At this point, I believe that many viewers watching this video, whether in England, Germany, or anywhere else, can see a reflection of themselves in it, right? The desire to have someone listen to you and believe in your potential is an inherent human instinct. If you find this analytical perspective resonates with you, don't hesitate to hit like and subscribe to support me. Those little buttons are the way you allow me to have more motivation to create higher quality content every day. Thank you all very much. Back to the story, remember this. When you live in a place where everyone tells you be realistic, just 1 month in a place that tells you, why not go bigger? Your mind will be permanently restructured. And that's just a change in mindset. What will happen when that optimistic energy continues to invade their living environment and daily consumer space? Why do the vast supermarkets or the 8-lane roads make Europeans feel that their homes are as cramped as a cage when they return?
Costco is bigger than my village where I live. Whatever you want at Costco, it's there. You just show up and you could buy your whole life there.
All right, I'm in a pig stop in America. Not sure where to start. You've got sausages. That is so weird. What's it doing? Look at all these drinks. Oh my gosh, what's this? Look at this on tap. Caramel latte, mocha latte, vanilla skinny latte, cold brew, nitro cold brew, caramel latte, iced mocha latte. I don't know which one to get. I genuinely wanted cold brew, but now this is all fun flavors. Iced vanilla.
We clearly didn't know the sizes of pizza because we ordered 7 of them. Oh my God.
That is 1 large fries. Thoughts?
That's just outrageous.
I mean, can you beat American food? Look at that. It's delicious.
Welcome to the American-style oversized universe. Watching this, many of you must have burst out laughing, right? Seeing the bewildered expressions of European tourists when they first encounter American food in supermarkets makes me feel both amused and sympathetic. In their homeland, a glass of soda is charged by the drop. The portions are just right, and the supermarkets are compact and tidy. Coming here, the pancake plate is bigger than a head, the soda cup is as big as a bucket, and the gas station is so spacious that walking around makes your legs tired. Many people joke that after going to the US to watch the World Cup, beside football memories, the most you bring back is an extra 5 pounds. But just for a bit of fun, from the perspective of a social analyst, this is much more interesting than you might think. In behavioral psychology, this phenomenon is called spatial abundance, the philosophy of spatial abundance. Everything seems to be produced to serve hundreds of thousands of people.
One thing I love about coming to America is seeing what supersized things that they have in the supermarket. They actually, it's like the size of my face. That's the normal size, and that is the super size. Why is everything literally for 5,000 people? I actually can't deal. How do people carry their shopping home? Perfect, if you've got 500 kids. I wouldn't even fit that in my fridge.
Remember that most cities in Europe have histories spanning hundreds, even thousands of years. Their terrain is built on narrow optimization. Small roads, small houses, small cars, small refrigerators, and just enough portions. They were so used to saving and calculating every bit of space. But when they set foot in America, they were confronted with an infrastructure designed with a no-holds-barred approach to space. The straight 8-lane grid roads, supermarket aisles, wide enough for 2 shopping carts to pass each other comfortably, the side-by-side refrigerator as big as a wardrobe. And this has triggered a switch in the user's brain, instant gratification. You don't have to worry about whether this will fit in the fridge or if you'll be jostled in the supermarket. Everything is readily available, spacious, and abundant.
Nobody prepares you for how big America actually is. Literally everything in America is massive. The roads are huge. The grocery stores are massive. The parking lots, the apartments are big. The little scale of it. Like, we all know Ghana is a small country. But you compare it to a state in America and you realize how small Ghana truly is. Due to the sheer size of the country, sometimes I feel like I'm invisible, like truly, because it's like you're a little something in the midst of every other thing that's so big. Like in Ghana, you go out to your left, there's something there, to your right, there's something there. Here, you have to walk miles, drive miles, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, just to get somewhere.
Western media and press often enjoy mocking American consumer culture. They say that portion sizes like that are wasteful and supermarkets that big are excessive. But do you know? For a European traveler who is struggling to endure the pressure of living costs or the cramped, stifling conditions back home, that abundance in America brings an incredibly healing feeling. That is the feeling of resource security. The feeling that you walk into a store and everything is always abundant, your glass of water is refilled without any extra charge. It frees your mind from the daily trivial worries. Honestly, if it were you, between a tiny cup of water charged by the drop and a cup of free refill water overflowing, which one would you choose? Don't hesitate to leave a comment below to let me know. And if you're enjoying these interesting analyses, please hit like and share the video so your friends can watch it too. But hey, big food or large supermarkets are just the surface. The real shock that causes European tourists the most pain when they step off the plane and return home is not the food. It lies in the way people treat each other on the streets. Why did the openness of a gas station in Texas make a German girl exclaim, "Back home, I realized how rude my compatriots are"? I must admit one thing. There are very small moments, but they touch people's hearts directly.
This is what I love about Americans. You are just so friendly, just so friendly. I mean, I'm sure you can get your angry side, but you're just so friendly, always complimenting my hair. And yesterday, I was at your Walmart. You've got self-checkout. I can just scan my own stuff and and get my own change. I can just do everything myself. But you are so friendly. I was there at Walmart yesterday and I didn't know which brand of a product to buy. And I asked someone. I didn't even ask someone that worked there. I asked another person that was also doing shopping and she was just so friendly. She just Googled the reviews for me and told me what to get and what not to get. I'm just like, God, this is just America. This is America for you.
You see, for many Americans, asking a stranger in the supermarket and receiving a friendly response can be quite normal. But for someone from a different culture, it can be a memorable experience. It creates a very strong contrast. Many European tourists share that when they come to America, they are already prepared with a defensive mindset. But then they were completely conquered, not by grand things, but by the unconditional kindness among strangers. In the past, the press and European tourists often held a prejudice. They said that Americans' friendliness is fake smiles, meaning smiles that are fake, smiling just for tips or as part of the sales process. But this World Cup has completely shattered that myth. Because just look, the fact that an American holds the door for you even if you are 10 steps away, the fact that a stranger on the street turns to say, "Have a nice day," or the government intervening to help the mother of the Cape Verde goalkeeper get a visa to come to the US to cheer for her son. Those things don't bring in tips, do they? Isn't it in any sales handbook?
American hospitality is on another level to the UK. In the UK, when you want to get served by someone in a shop or a restaurant, it feels like that they don't really want to be there, they don't really want to help you. In the US, it's almost unrealistic how much these people want to help you. And this has happened everywhere I've been. In a gun shop yesterday, I was so intrigued by guns, I wanted to shoot them. Silly enough, I thought that you could just go to any gun shop and there's a shooting range. That's not the case, but they still let me hold the guns, talk to me about them, spend some time showing me around the shop, and they gave me a little patch to commemorate me just going to the shop, then getting the cowboy hat.
In sociology, this is called unconditional social frictionless, the culture of unconditional social friction reduction. Americans understand that life is already full of pressures. By actively giving a smile, a compliment, or a cold bottle of water, they are creating a positive energy that makes the surrounding living space more pleasant. It's not insincere. It is a cultural choice, a kind choice to make it easier for everyone to breathe together. Truly, when watching these stories, I feel incredibly warm. Genuine kindness always has a miraculous healing power, no matter where we are in the world. If the previous analysis resonated with you and you like this perspective, please hit the like button and subscribe to support me. Don't forget to leave a comment, sharing a kind act from a stranger that once warmed your heart. Your interactions are the biggest motivation for me to continue producing meaningful videos. But do you know what the cruelest thing is? When you have gotten used to that kindness and warmth in America, when you return to your hometown where people are accustomed to keeping their distance and being cold, you will experience a cold cognitive shock. How has that kindness made them unable to endure everyday life when they return? Look at how a British tourist or a German girl faces their fellow countrymen as soon as they step off the plane. Watching those clips, I believe many of you watching the video also feel a bit touched, right? Do you all realize what the biggest tragedy here is? That's when you fly back to your hometown, the place where you were born, where your family and friends are, where you belong on paper, but your mind screams, "This is no longer my home." They still love their country very much. But once they have tasted the feeling of being welcomed, of hugging and celebrating together in Seattle or Dallas, returning to face the everyday coldness feels like a bucket of cold water splashed straight in the face. Let me explain to you from a sociological perspective why there is this emotional coldness. In the ancient large cities of Europe, such as London, Berlin, or Munich, social culture is built on the principle of high privacy, maximum protection of privacy. People respect your personal space. Not disturbing others and being quiet on the subway are considered civilized norms. However, the line between respecting privacy and emotional isolation, urban isolation, is extremely thin. You can live in London for 20 years without knowing the name of the neighbor across the street. Meanwhile, in American cities like Texas, Seattle, or Atlanta, the social model is completely extroverted. They have what is called a low barrier to friendship, an extremely low threshold for connection. You wear a nice football jersey at the gas station, someone will compliment it. You stand in line to buy coffee, and the person behind you will ask where you're from. You go to the gym, someone will ask your name and invite you for a drink. And here is the shocking conclusion that few people realize. The post-World Cup depression of European tourists is actually not much related to football. What they are fascinated by, what they miss the most, is the feeling of living in a community for the first time in their lives, so connecting with others becomes easy and effortless. Low-effort social connection. When they returned home, they realized they had inadvertently brought back a more open American version of themselves, one that smiled more and was more proactive in greeting others. But ironically, the old environment around them was not yet ready to embrace that version. The neighbors still look at them in confusion when they proactively knock on the door and say, "Good morning." That's how we see that stepping out into the world and broadening our horizons sometimes comes with a bit of side effects like this. Have you ever found yourself feeling out of place in your own hometown after a long trip? Please share your story in the comments section below. And if these analyses resonate with your emotions and make you feel understood, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so we can continue to accompany each other in the next in-depth analysis videos. But let's look at the bigger picture. When tens of thousands of people return home and bring this psychological change with them, it is no longer just a personal, emotional story. It has inadvertently become a great media coup. Why has the 2026 World Cup become the most successful soft power rebranding campaign in American history, turning even the most skeptical into voluntary media ambassadors for the American way of life? What do you all think of those scenes? Very explosive, right? Before the 2026 World Cup takes place, international economic and sports analysts often view this event with a relatively pragmatic perspective. They say, the U.S. hosting the World Cup is just about the lucrative ticket sales, broadcasting rights, and commercial revenue. People say the U.S. hosting the World Cup is just about the money from ticket sales, broadcasting rights, and lucrative commercial revenue. But looking at what is happening on the streets of Boston, Kansas, or San Francisco, I must affirm one thing to you. The money from ticket sales is just the... But looking at what is happening on the streets of Boston, Kansas, or San Francisco, I must affirm one thing to you. The flow of ticket sales is just the tip of the iceberg. Because in essence, America has just completed the greatest soft power rebranding campaign of the modern era. They use the very round ball to carry out a people's diplomacy that no billion-dollar advertising campaign could achieve. Let's look at the essence of the issue. For many years, when you turn on the TV or read international newspapers, the image of America is often shrouded in gloomy colors, political conflicts, social divisions, and negative news. Many Europeans, before coming to the US for the World Cup, also carried a great deal of apprehension and fear. But this World Cup has completely shattered that wall of prejudice. How? By turning millions of European tourists, TikTokers, YouTubers, ordinary fans into millions of invisible media ambassadors. They come, they experience it themselves, they film clips themselves, they flaunt scenes of strangers guiding them on how to eat BBQ ribs, scenes of the Costco supermarket as vast as a village, scenes of free refills on soft drinks, and scenes of locals undressing in every corner of the street. That's it. All the biased news lines in the press were completely shattered by those authentic, bewildered, and everyday videos. Viewers in Europe realized, oh, America is not at all like what is constantly portrayed on TV or in the newspapers. Oh, America is actually nothing like what is constantly portrayed on TV or in the newspapers. The strength of America has never been in theoretical speeches or textbooks. That strength lies in real experiences. They export the American lifestyle through a month of real living, driving on Route 66, stopping at a roadside diner, sipping sweet iced tea, and mingling with the crowd dancing in Times Square. And it is this authenticity that has touched the hearts of even the most discerning travelers. You see, geopolitical or economic analysis sometimes doesn't require complex academic terms. Just by looking at the real heartbeat of life, we can see the big picture. If you enjoy these insightful yet easy to understand analyses, remember to hit like and subscribe to the channel right away. Your support is the fuel that helps the channel develop even more substantial content in the future. The final whistle at MetLife Stadium has sounded, the championship trophy has been awarded, and the celebration ribbons have been cleared away. The fans have boarded the plane to return home. But has this journey really come to an end? When the memories of football gradually fade, what will truly remain in the minds of those people? And what awaits them as they try to apply the American way of life to their small apartments in Munich, Stockholm, or London? When the World Cup 2026 ball stops rolling on the MetLife grass, the statistics will fade into history, and the championship trophy will follow the winning team home. But the true legacy that this World Cup leaves for both America and Europe does not lie in record books or halls of fame. That legacy is alive every day in countless kitchens and living rooms across Europe. It lies in the diner mug, carefully wrapped in 3 layers by a traveler and placed on a bookshelf in Stockholm, reminding him of the breakfast paid for by a stranger in Chicago. It lies in the red, white, blue LED string on a girl's desk in Berlin, illuminating hope every night. And it lies in the very act of walking down the hallway, knocking on doors to greet neighbors of an old man in Munich after 11 years of silence. America touched them, not with grand promises, but with the warmest, kindest, and simplest openness. In the end, what did tens of thousands of European tourists realize after a month of experiencing life in America? That is, the dream of America is not about a geographical coordinate. That is the dream of a state of soul. It is the dream of a place where you are allowed to hope that tomorrow will be better than yesterday. A place where you are allowed to dream big dreams, without fear of being judged. A place where a stranger walking against the current on the street is not a threat or an annoyance, but simply a friend we haven't had the chance to meet yet. America has rekindled the faith and optimism that had long been dormant in the hearts of many travelers. And once you have touched that freedom, the old closed-off lifestyle will never be enough for you again. This story will certainly continue as daily life goes on. If you are an audience member watching from the US, would you have recognized these values and invisible attractions of your country before international tourists pointed them out? And for our audience, if you had the opportunity to experience 1 month living in the US, what would make you most curious and eager to explore? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. I read every single one of your comments. If you find today's video brings you interesting information and positive emotions, don't forget to hit like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel today. Please click the notification bell so you don't miss the next in-depth analyses on global economy, culture, and society. Small note: this video is based on reactions, personal perspectives and synthesized analysis from the mass media intended for reference, entertainment, and cultural sharing purposes, and does not represent the entire institution or official policy. Thank you all very much for taking the time to watch. Wishing everyone a wonderful day, and see you in the next videos on the channel.